What it do, YouTube? Back with another video. We're not live this time. But we are coming to you on Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving Day to everybody out there. Hope everybody enjoys their family and their football and their beer and their turkey and their friends and whatever you do to celebrate. I hope you enjoy Thanksgiving. I'm here with my friend Frank, and today we are going to cover a show near and dear to him. So he's going to be the one um, running this bowl of fruits and nuts. So, Frank, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? It's a weekly show anyway, so of course I'm gonna be the one that moves from segment to segment. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's watching. And today we're gonna cover the November 28th, 2002 SmackDown. It was the first wrestling event that, well, for me, it was. I became a fan on this night while watching this show. I watched this show and I was hooked. And so this is the night. It's been 20 years now. 20 damn years. I can't believe it's been so long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, by
So,
the way, if you notice, I'm not my usual setting. I'm in my kitchen today.
yeah.
I did a lot of moving this past weekend, getting a new bed and painting my walls. I'm getting a new gaming chair in there as well. So I'm currently here in my kitchen recording this. So
Mm.
and
So,
oh, I was gonna say, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, do all of that good stuff. And Pepsi, sponsor your favorite YouTube channel. Frank, go ahead.
all right. So the show kicks off with a little flashback to last week where Brock Lesnar, who had just shortly come off Survivor Series 2002, where Paul Heyman screws him out of the WWE title, helping Big Show win. And so they show Brock Lesnar going into the locker room where he's stopped by Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy tells him it's a shame what happened to him at Survivor Series, tells him he's all sorry, da da da. And then Brock Lesnar takes Matt Hardy, freaking throws him through a wall, in breaking that wall. So Brock Lesnar gets Stephanie McMahon pissed off and says, if you do anything else tonight, you will be suspended. They cut to Paul Heyman coming out, talking about how before the match, before the Survivor Series match, he put a little clause in that Brock Lesnar and everybody else was not aware about, that clause being no rematch. And Brock Lesnar comes out after that and attacks the Big Show. And now we're wondering, is Stephanie going to suspend Brock Lesnar? So this show pretty much all about a couple of people. It's all about Brock, of course. The suspension. We wonder, is
Yeah,
he going to get suspension? It's all about Stephanie, who Stephanie was the MVP of this episode, in my opinion. She at this point she was the babyface GM, but
yeah.
on this night we got a little bit of a flashback to her heel days because she did a lot of heel things on this show, and we're gonna get to that. And of course, a little bit about the Big Show too. Those are essentially your three main characters for this show: Brock, Stephanie, and Big Show.
All right.
So then after that, we kick off the show. Stephanie McMahon comes out and essentially just talks about the whole thing with Brock. Brock comes out all pissed off, and they get into a bit of an altercation. Stephanie brings out the police to make sure that she's safe, which she said that, or no, she actually says they're here for Brock for your protection, which I forgot to mention too. Taz was not at this show. It was actually Michael Cole and Ernest the Cat Miller, which is crazy because I grew up on Taz and Michael Cole every week on SmackDown, and it's
Yeah,
crazy. This is
Ernest
my
the Cat Miller,
first.
Ernest
Yeah,
the Cat Miller was just as entertaining as Taz.
he was. This is my first show, and it's not Cole and Taz, which is pretty crazy to look back on. But when Stephanie says, Brock, they're here for your protection, the cat says, "What? Here for Brock's protection?" So the segment ends up ending with Stephanie telling Brock he's suspended for the night. He has to leave, and I believe he gets he does get taken away by the police. And we cut backstage. They're taking, not just backstage, out of the arena. They're taking Brock away in the squad car.
Okay.
So then the first match of the night, which that was a solid segment to kick off the show. Like I said, Stephanie was great. She showed a little bit of a heel side, which like I said, she's gonna do throughout the night. This was one part where it's like, wait, Stephanie's the baby face here, but she's kind of being the heel to the top baby face in the whole company. So yeah, a little bit of a change for Stephanie on this night. Any thoughts on this segment?
It was a good segment, I thought.
Yeah,
It was fun.
definitely.
It was a good way to open the show.
Yes, and then first match of the night, Edge and Rey Mysterio taking on John Cena, who is just starting the whole Word Life gimmick, and Matt Hardy. This was a great match.
By the way, speaking of John Cena.
Yep.
See what I'm wearing?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Plus, I got this.
Yeah.
Plus, I got these. Hold on.
It's great.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there were 2 tag matches on this show that were pretty damn good, and this was one of them. Solid tag match.
The Smackdown tag team division in 02 was fantastic.
Right, but these were.
Go ahead.
These were thrown together. Well, actually, wait. Edge and Mysterio? Right? It's Edge and Mysterio. Well, they're taking on a thrown together team of John Cena and Matt Hardy. But yeah, Edge and Mysterio were one of the most popular tag teams in WWE at the time, so of course it worked. And Matt Hardy was a great heel at this time. John Cena, again, he was still finding his footing. He finally got the whole Word Life thing, but this was still early into that. But yeah, Edge and Mysterio and Cena and Hardy did a great job on that night. Decent way to match-wise kick off the show.
You had 2 tag team specialists in Edge and Ramus, or in Edge and Matt Hardy.
So, yeah. Yep. And then we get we go backstage to Stephanie and Kurt Angle, where Stephanie is venting to Kurt Angle, where this was a funny segment too, where she tells Kurt Angle, "I'm having a bad week because Aunt Flo paid me a visit," and Kurt Angle has no idea what she means by that. Kurt Angle says, "You have an Aunt Flo too? Oh, that's great. Tremendous." And Stephanie's like, "No, Kurt, Aunt Flo." It's like, "Yeah, I know, Aunt Flo. I have an Aunt Flo too." It was a funny segment.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
So then we go in the parking lot, and they're waiting on a limo. A limo pulls up, and it's Scott Steiner. So because, of course, at this point, this shortly after Survivor Series 02, Scott Steiner has not made his decision on if he's going to sign with SmackDown or Raw. This was Stephanie's night to, give him reasons to why he should come to SmackDown.
And we should mention, we did a Survivor Series 2002 review. It's in the archives. It's in our playlist. Go check it out.
Yeah, check out the Retro Bros Reviews full episode playlist.
Facts.
Yeah. Next up, Tajiri taking on Chuck Palumbo. Not that great of a match. Chuck Palumbo at this, not much of a match. It was very short too. Which the first match was fairly short too, but the crowd was into it. I'll give them that. That's why I said it was a great match. Crowd got into it.
Yeah.
But for this one, it was just way too short. And for Chuck Palumbo, he was in transition mode here. He was post Billy and Chuck, pre FBI Chuck Palumbo. So didn't really get much out of him. He actually used a Boston Crab. I forgot what they called it. He was doing a submission that was like an inverted Boston Crabs, and they actually had a name for it, and I totally forgot what the name was,
Sicilian slice or
but
something like that.
no, I don't think that was it. But
Oh,
they referenced that he used it a couple weeks prior on Velocity. So this was something they were trying to get over with Chuck Palumbo, a new submission hold for him. But Tajiri ended up winning. I believe he hit the miss and might have, yeah, I think he did the signature kick, and that's how Tajiri got the win. Nothing too special there.
yeah. I agree. It was just kind of there. It
Yeah.
was just kind of there to fill time.
So now there are plenty of segments that were in Stephanie's office. Again, she was one of the big. I said there was big three for this episode:
Yeah.
Stephanie, Brock, and Big Show. For me, Stephanie was the MVP, and so there was a lot of segments in Stephanie's office where Stephanie believes that she's waiting on Scott Steiner, and every time somebody knocks on the door, oh, here he comes. So there's the knock. Stephanie thinks, okay, this is Scott Steiner. It turns out to be Fabulous Moolah, where Fabulous Moolah wants to promote her book and everything. And Stephanie ends up being, again, does a little heel on her and then sort of apologizes, but then tells her she will be competing. Fabulous Moolah, that is, will be competing tonight. And that ends up being our final segment of the night that we will get to soon.
Yeah.
This was, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a hilarious segment. We got so the announcer guy, I forgot who it was, backstage announcer, it was a guy who I think it was Mark Lloyd actually. Yeah. I believe it was Mark Lloyd. Mark
Yep.
Lloyd says, we've heard rumors that Brock Lesnar has gotten back into the building, and we believe that a scalper he might have brought a ticket from a scalper. So they go up to this guy, like, excuse me, did you just pay or did you just sell a ticket to Brock Lesnar? It's like, Brock Lesnar? Who Brock Lesnar? I don't know no Brock Lesnar. Scalping's illegal. Get that camera out of my face.
Right.
Get that camera. This dude, I have no idea who that was. I'm guessing it was probably an actor, but whoever he is, I hope he got paid great for that because that was hilarious. He did a phenomenal job. What was that?
I have a feeling that he did.
Yeah, well, WWE, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
And 4-1, whoever did the review for 411 Mania, to him it was a bad segment. I could not disagree more. That dude was hilarious. We get to a backstage segment with Matt Hardy, Big Show, and Paul Heyman. Matt Hardy essentially takes credit for Brock getting suspended. Just a quick little segment there. Now we see.
I want to mention Brock Lesnar and Scott Steiner were in the same building at the same exact time, and they didn't have an interaction.
Well, that could have been something they were planning in the future. But of course, Scott Steiner goes over to Raw, and both are gone by 2004, early 2004. So, but I'm sure if everything worked out for Scott Steiner and Brock didn't walk out in 04, I'm sure their paths would have definitely crossed.
Yes,
But
sir.
you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it on a night like this where it's a SmackDown and just give it all away for free. Especially when they were planning on bringing Scott to Raw. If they were planning on bringing Scott to SmackDown, there probably would have been an altercation on this show.
Yep.
But don't forget, Brock was suspended and he was in a feud with Big Show. So even if they were planning on bringing Scott Steiner to SmackDown, the altercation would not have happened on this night.
Yeah.
So then we have Billy Kidman and Tori Wilson, who I believe at this point were dating, but
Yes.
not on screen, behind the scenes. And they show Tori's getting ready. She's dressed up as I don't think there's a political way. She's dressed up for Halloween because they're about to do a pilgrim fashion show as the next segment. And essentially,
I could have done without that, but I'll give my opinions on that.
So Kidman and Tori just talking about their their upcoming segment, which we get to right here. You say you could have did without it. I thought this was one of the better segments of the night.
You know, I'm gonna say this. I'm so freaking glad. Hang on, I wanna look. I'm so glad that they got done, that they're done with doing pudding matches and female food fights and chocolate pudding matches and mud matches and bra and panties. Glad they're done with that because to me, wasn't necessary. It's not a good way to highlight women's wrestling. There you go.
Yeah, like I said, sex sells, and that's what people wanted to see
Yo,
back
okay, hang
then.
on. To that point, if sex truly sells,
Mhm.
okay, I get that. But if sex sells, you don't need to put them in pudding matches and have them rolling around in the mud or having them in food fights. That's not sexy, at least not to me. And
Well, I could see that point, but that's what a lot of people wanted to see back then. The I don't see nothing sexual about some a woman being covered in mud. I definitely agree with that.
yeah,
But
or pudding
see,
or
yeah,
food.
putting two, yeah. No, I agree with that. But for this one, it wasn't just the thing is, it wasn't just about them being dressed up and showing off their body. Although that's mostly what did happen, there was a little bit of comedy and a little bit of drama in this segment, which is what made it such a great segment, in my opinion. Um, for one thing, this was in the middle of the Tory Dawn feud, Dawn Marie, where Dawn was,
Yeah,
sleeping with Al Wilson. May he rest in peace. Tori Wilson's dad, Tori Wilson's real life dad.
yeah,
And so what happens here is, oh, by the way, the cat is playing Taz's role because back then Taz would always be the I guess the host of these segments
yeah,
whenever it's on SmackDown.
yeah.
The cat was the host for this one since Taz was not there. Taz actually had, I believe, he was dealing with a death in the family,
Oh wow.
which definitely, yeah, that definitely sucks. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But Michael Cole references that Taz is not there right at the top of the show and saying, I believe he said it was a death in the family that Taz was dealing with. But anyway, towards the early beginning of this segment, a guy comes out in a turkey suit. He's walking down the ramp in the turkey suit, takes off the turkey mask, reveals it's Al Wilson.
Ugh.
At one point, when Al Wilson starts cutting a promo, the joke between like Michael Cole and Taz on commentary during these segments was that Al Wilson was kind of boring whenever he talked, which I mean I could see that. He's not a pro wrestler, he's not a guy that's gonna cut you the
Right.
greatest promo of all time. But at one point, as Al starts talking, Michael Cole yells as loud as can be, like to say like get this guy out of here. It was hilarious, but yeah. So as that goes on, Al Wilson gets in. Of course, that leads to a little more drama between Tori and Dawn. The segment ends with Tori attacking Dawn because when it was her turn to show off, she starts showing off the engagement ring that Al Wilson gave her. So it's like, yeah, look at me, and then she's doing that right in front of Tori Wilson, of course. So Tori Wilson attacks her,
Right.
throws a pumpkin on her head, over her head. That's Dawn Marie. After knocking her to the ground, the pumpkin is decorated to have like a female face. It looked pretty funny. And then when Al Wilson like hugs Dawn Marie, like it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Uh, Tori comes over, puts the turkey mask back on Al Wilson, but does it backwards.
Uh,
So a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, all good. That was a solid segment to me. Second best segment of the night, in my opinion.
it was fun. It was aside from the food fight, it was fun.
Hmm. So Next, in terms of matches, for me, this would be the match of the night. Los Guerreros taking on Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. So for most of the early minutes of the match, the Los Guerreros try to get counted out. The official says no, that's not gonna happen. Get your asses back here. This is for
Right.
the SmackDown tag titles as well. I believe the
Oh,
Los Guerreros were the champs, so of course they're trying to get disqualified so they keep the title. And the ref
right.
said, no, we're not doing that. Get your asses back there. They go on to have about maybe a 20 plus minute match, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Los Guerreros, of course, cheat to retain.
It was a great match. But
Yeah,
that's something to expect with the Benoit and the Los Guerreros.
yeah.
Eddie.
And
Those
Angle.
Benoit and Angle, yeah. Those four
Yeah.
guys are great athletes and wrestlers. So
I did say 20 plus. According to 411 Mania, it was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. 17 minutes and 30 seconds. So almost 20 minutes.
I was
Just
about to
under
say that's
20.
a huge gap there, bro.
Yeah, for a weekly match, yeah.
No, I mean
Um
between 20 minutes and 7 minutes, and you said
oh yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of a big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't 7 minutes. I fucked up there.
No.
But pretty funny backstage segment with Jamie Noble, Nydia, where Scott Steiner walks by. Jamie Noble tries to extend the hand, say, "Hey, what's up? I'm Jamie Noble." Scott Steiner just blows him off, walks away, starts looking at Nydia, continues to look at Nydia, and then he goes, whack, right on Nydia. You know where he smacked her. And
On the
Jamie
butt.
Noble, yeah, Jamie Noble did not like that one bit.
No. Well, would you like a guy smacking your girl's ass?
Of course not. But if it's Scott Steiner, there's not much you can do about it.
What if it's Brock
So
Lesnar?
yeah. So then Noble comes out to the ring, calls out Scott Steiner, and of course gets his ass whooped. That is Jamie Noble gets his ass whooped by Scott Steiner. Pretty good segment.
Yes, it was.
And I believe after that, what does he say?
I can cover this part. Next after that little segment, there's a in-ring segment with Scott Steiner and Jamie Noble, where Noble calls out Scott. And
Hold on, we just did that. We just did that.
you did the
I was trying to
backstage
see.
part.
No, I did. I just said Noble comes out and gets his ass
Oh,
whooped.
okay. My fault. My fault.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out because Scott Steiner says something. I thought he makes a point to where he's going to sign, but no, it doesn't seem like he did that.
All right.
And then Paul Heyman backstage informing Stephanie McMahon that Big Show is unwilling to have a rematch with Brock Lesnar, and Stephanie informs Big Show that even though there's going to be no rematch, the Big Show himself will have to wrestle tonight.
Mm. That's part of her heel shtick because it goes in the main event thing.
It didn't seem like it at the moment, but yes, this seemed at as you're watching it, it seems like Stephanie's kind of going back to the babyface role because Paul Heyman's trying to get his champion. We're not defending the title. It's not going to happen. And of course, even if she wanted to, she suspended Brock, so she can't have him wrestle when he's suspended.
Why did Stephanie go heel on this night?
It seems, I don't know, just for that Aunt Flo segment. That was essentially the reasoning why she was acting so pissy that night was because of Aunt Flo. Whatever the reason is, I liked it. I liked that she was coming off a bit heelish on this night. Again, she did suspend the babyface, the most popular wrestler in the company at the time. So I guess if she does that, she's got to come off a bit heelish, right?
Right.
But in this segment, it seemed as if she was getting back to the babyface thing because she's telling Big Show, whether you like it or not, you're gonna compete tonight.
Yeah.
But of course,
then by the end of the night, Aunt Flo comes back.
no, I think Aunt Flo was still there. It's just that segment originally comes off as babyface, but
Okay.
it's not, as we will later find out.
Yes.
Billy Kidman versus Crash. Not much of a match.
No.
It was a short match, of course.
R.I.P. Crash.
Yes, rest in peace, Crash. Definitely. Um, and then we go to Michael Cole. Then we see backstage Fabulous Moolah getting ready for her match. Michael Cole setting it up. Moolah's about to wrestle. We can't wait to see this legend wrestle. And then we cut to Big Show. Michael Cole's like, we also got Big Show wrestling. Wait a minute. No. Michael Cole saying, no, don't tell me. Don't tell me that this is happening.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
And then, of course, they cut to commercial. They come back. Big Show's music hits, and Big Show comes out. And who's the next theme to hit? Fabulous Moolah. Fabulous Moolah's all. Oh well, actually, first it was Moolah to come out. And Taz is saying, Michael Cole saying more of, I hope this isn't what we think it is.
And it was.
And then Big Show's music hit. Big Show comes out with Paul Heyman. Heyman grabs a mic, says, Moolah, don't worry about this. Kind of trying to, ease her mind a little. Like, Big Show's not going to hurt you. And then he sort of says, but Big Show thinks you're Brock Lesnar. It's like, get her. Like, tries to beat her up.
Voice, yeah.
And then Brock Lesnar jumps the guardrail. Michael Cole says, the rumors are true. Brock Lesnar's here. And then what happens next is the long-lasting memory that I have of my first night as a wrestling fan. The 10-year-old in me could not believe what I saw next. This 295-pound monster, Brock Lesnar, he actually picks up a huge giant, the Big Show. Yeah, 500 pounds, and F5s him through the announce table. I specifically remember it like it was yesterday, jumping up and down in my room right in front of my TV like, what? What just happened?
And Paul runs up the ramp, scurrying as quickly as he possibly can.
Yes, and from that moment on, Brock Lesnar was my favorite wrestler. It's funny because I remember during that tag match, or at least possibly at some point, whenever we saw Kurt Angle, at some point I made the decision, okay, this Kurt Angle guy's my favorite. Yeah. But then after Brock Lesnar picked up Big Show F5 through the announce table, I'm like, oh my gosh, this Brock Lesnar guy is awesome.
Your favorite at that point.
Yeah.
And we go off the air with Stephanie bringing out security to take Brock Lesnar away.
Yeah. Yes, a phenomenal show. I
would give the show. I would rate the show 6.5, possibly a 7 out of 10.
I think it's way better than that. I give it about an 8.5 out of 10. It was a phenomenal show. A lot of great segments. You had the great tag match with Angle and Los Guerreros, Angle, Benoit, Los Guerreros. There's just a lot of entertaining segments, a lot of great drama, a little bit of comedy. It was a great show, man. I miss when weekly wrestling shows were like this, produced like a television show and not just a wrestling show.
Yeah. Well, hey, next week, ladies and gentlemen, Frank and I are going to come back to you live. And we are going to review ECW December to Dismember, the infamous pay-per-view that's famous for being hated by everybody in the world. So,
neither of us have seen that show yet, so this is going to be a first for both of us.
Facts.
What I want to do after that, I've already made my decision. Because most of the time we do these late 90s, early 2000s shows. I freaking love them. So I want to give a show. We want to review a show from that time period that I personally wasn't too crazy about. So after December to Dismember, I want to review Armageddon 2002 to show that I don't enjoy every single, even though it's very close. Like, I absolutely love this time period, late 90s, early 2000s, early mid 2000s.
Yes.
I want to show that not every single show was an epic classic for me, but
Right.
it is close.
Um,
And that's one show that it was okay,
yeah.
not too great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending 30 minutes of your Thanksgiving day with us. We'll let you get back to enjoying turkey with your family. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And thank you for supporting our channel. Truly means the world to us. Till next time, he's Frank, and I'm CJ. And we out.